Olympic Dream Team versus Olympic Redeem Team. In the 1992 Summer Olympics held in Barcelona, the United States men's Olympic basketball team featured active professional basketball players from the NBA for the first time, which was nicknamed the Dream Team. The roster of the 1992 team reads like a wing of the Basketball Hall of Fame. David Robinson, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Larry Bird, Clyde Drexler, Patrick Ewing, Magic Johnson, Christian Laettner, Karl Malone, Chris Mullin, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. The late Chuck Daly served as head coach, alongside assistant coaches P.J. Carlsimo, Mike Krzyzewski, and Lenny Wilkens. On the other hand, the 2008 lineup of the United States men's Olympic basketball team, nicknamed Redeem Team, featured the young LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and a sneak preview with Chris Bosh of the eventual Big Three, and the late great Kobe Bryant, RIP Kobe, was also on that team, and he had one of the standout moments of his illustrious career in the classic gold medal game against Spain. The squad also included Carlos Boozer, Jason Kidd, Darren Williams, Michael Redd, Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Tajon Prince, and Carmelo Anthony. Both teams captured the gold medal for the men's Olympic basketball for the United States. However, a debate has sparked up. Which team would most likely win against the other? If you're curious just like us, let's take a closer look at the facts from both the Dream Team and the Redeem Team. The Dream Team seems invincible. It is widely considered the best basketball team ever assembled, perhaps the best team regardless of sport. They had the best player of all time in Michael Jordan and two other top 5 players in Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Charles Barkley and Karl Malone are two of the best power forwards ever, and David Robinson and Patrick Ewing are two Hall of Fame centers. Johnson's backup, John Stockton, only happens to be the NBA's career leader in assists. Throw in Clyde Drexler and Scottie Pippen, and that's 10 of the NBA's 50 greatest players. During the Redeem Team's era in 2008, LeBron is destined for the Hall of Fame and will be on every first team and in every MVP race for the next half dozen years. Dwayne Wade already has a Finals MVP and has shown the ability to put up Hall of Fame stat lines from season to season. Kobe Bryant, who is the cornerstone of the Lakers, has led his team into 3 consecutive NBA championships. Carmelo Anthony is a world-class scorer, and at only 24, the rest of his game is still improving. Finally, the babies of the group at that time, Chris Paul, who finished last season as the runner-up to the MVP and led the league in assists and steals, is already being compared to Isaiah Thomas. And Dwight Howard, 22, had his first season averaging over 20 while leading the league in rebounds and was also seen to be as dominating as Shaquille O'Neal on the court. During their Olympic game, the Redeem Team has a collective 35 All-Star appearances, 15 first teams, 1 MVP, and 5 NBA titles. While Kidd is on his last legs, the rest of this team will have plenty of time to add to these numbers. In this video, we will compare the Dream Team versus the Redeem Team as they were when standing on that stage accepting their gold medals. On the court, it's easy to look at a roster of guys that are already in the Hall of Fame and say that they are better than guys who still have a lot of career left. But note that in 1992, most of the Dream Team were hitting the end of their physical primes. They had some physical drawbacks that don't show up on paper along with names and accolades. Magic Johnson had already retired, Larry Bird's back was shot, and John Stockton was injured as well. The Dream Team had some incredible athletes, but they cannot run with the Redeem Team. This is where 2008's youth will benefit them. Bird, Mullin, Laettner, injured Stockton, Magic, and Ewing could never hope to keep up with this team, so their minutes would have to be limited. Furthermore, no one on the Dream Team possessed the combination of size, strength, speed, and agility that LeBron does. He would be a nightmare for them. Let's take a look at the team's point guards. The tandem of Chris Paul and Darren Williams played excellently when paired together, penetrating the lane at will, setting up teammates, and pushing tempo. However, the Redeem team's point guard trio runs into the two best distributing point guards ever, Magic Johnson and John Stockton. Magic and his ability to post up the smaller Paul may cause problems, and Stockton's grittiness and shot-making ability would also present issues. Williams may have had the strength and size to keep Magic from backing him in at will. However, the Dream Team point guards are not legends for no reason. Their blazing quickness would dust Paul and Williams from time and time again. In this perspective, the Dream Team holds an advantage. Now let's zoom in to the shooting guards. If you have watched the Beijing squad, you know that the Redeem Team's strength was in its wing players. At the two-guard position, the All-NBA combination of Kobe Bryant and Dwayne Wade saw most of the action. Bryant struggled to consistently nail perimeter shots, but came up in big moments against Spain to lift the United States to the championship. Wade fearlessly drove the lane, scored from mid-range, and terrorized opposing ball handlers. On the other side, the Dream Team had Michael Jordan in his prime. That alone is enough to give the overall edge to the Dream Team. They also had Clyde Drexler, a gifted scorer and athlete who enjoyed a career year in 1992. In fact, he came second to Jordan in 1992 MVP votes. His sick athleticism and great scoring ability would make Wade and Bryant work hard when Jordan was on the bench. Between the two superstars, MJ would have to deal hard with the established and passionate Kobe. In addition to being the best, most complete, and most successful basketball player ever, Jordan was also the most competitive player ever, but that wouldn't stop Kobe in making his way to the ring. The Dream Team yet again gets the advantage, but it would be the toughest battle in history, having both MJ and Kobe with their best support team in one court. Now let's move on to the small forward, LeBron James. With his versatility and all-around game, make him the most dangerous threat to the Dream Team. Carmelo Anthony's refined mid-range game also translates very well onto FIBA courts. But the Dream Team's list of small forwards could possibly counter all of this. Even at the end of his career, Bird was a better shooter than anybody on the Redeem roster. Mullen possessed an offensive arsenal who could score from anywhere on the court, and Scottie Pippen was a superb defensive stopper who could guard anybody on the perimeter. The obvious matchup here is LeBron, the most dynamic blend of skill and athleticism we've ever witnessed, against the best perimeter defender ever, Scottie Pippen. With James physically superior, the quick and long Pippen wouldn't be able to match up. LBJ is a once-in-a-generation type of player who is an elite athlete who possesses elite talent, and he'd score on anybody, even the most lockdown defender of all time. In this position, the advantage is undoubtedly on the Redeem Team. Let's talk the team's power forward. Michael Jordan himself is a great reason why the Dream Teamers could win, but the Dream Team's deep group of physical, versatile, all-star big men is another excellent one. By summer '92, Charles Barkley was playing the best basketball of his career, and he would go on to lead the Phoenix Suns to an NBA Finals berth the following season, while winning the MVP. Karl Malone was also playing outstanding basketball, putting up the consistently excellent numbers that we would come to expect from him. With Malone and Barkley, two of the best rebounders in NBA history, the Dream Team would control the glass and limit the athletic Redeem Teamers to one shot on offense. Though the Redeem Team's Boozer and Anthony vastly outscored their opponents, they were only able to manage a +6 advantage on the boards in Beijing. The Redeem Team was criticized at times for its lack of physicality inside. Barkley and Malone, two of the most physical players ever, would have a field day in the paint. The Dream Team's strength up front would expose the Redeem Team's glaring hole inside, and their bruising style would wear down the thin Redeem Team's front line. This position is clearly giving advantage to the Dream Team. Now we go to the Olympic team's center players. The international game favors versatile centers that can face up and shoot, and the Dream Team has two of the best face-up centers ever in Patrick Ewing and David Robinson. Both stand at 7 feet, and both had range out to 15 and Ewing even to 18, and both were excellent protectors of the rim. The Admiral averaged an astounding 4.5 blocks during the 1991 to 1992 season and was the league's most dangerous shot blocker at the time. Dwight Howard is a worse version of Robinson. Robinson shared Howard's body type but had a much more refined overall game. In an era that lacks old-school centers, Howard can get by on his freakish athleticism and strength, but he has no post moves and no jump shot. Dwight would do well to bring a notepad and paper so that he could jot down a few pointers from David while he was getting schooled. The Beijing blog praised Chris Bosh for his energy and his high level of play, but he would be in over his head against the bigger and stronger Dream Team centers. With these, the Dream Team gets another advantage. In the overall chemistry, the Dream Team's collection of veteran superstars didn't need much chemistry to succeed against such inferior competition. But against the Redeem Team, this 2008 squad has been playing together for 3 years and has gotten to know each other much better than the Dream Team did. In a game between these two teams, chemistry would be a huge concern and the Redeem Team most likely would have the advantage. To conclude all of this, the Dream Team would likely win, but it would not be an absolute smooth sail. The Redeem Team boasts some of the best athletes to ever walk a basketball court and has plenty of wing players to force its up-tempo style. But the Redeem Team had Michael Jordan and a host of big men that would pound the smaller Redeem Team into submission. Jordan never lost any major game, and he would do whatever it took to ensure victory. The Redeem Team might have a shot in a 7-game series due to having fresher legs, but in an Olympic 1-game format, age would be less of a factor. Make sure to keep posted with our videos to keep yourselves updated with your favorite stars' whereabouts. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more.